Listen, Ben.
What's on your mind?
You wouldn't happen to know how to make sushi, would you?
Well, as you guessed, I don't know how. And go figure, because I've been to Japan a couple of times, but I know nothing beyond traditional cooking. In steak with mashed potatoes, I have eyes for nothing more.
And I'm assuming you don't have a book with the recipe for salmon sushi?
For sushi? Not as I recall. But if you want, I have a great one for grilled salmon. I could win the Iron Chef with that recipe, especially if the salmon's fresh.
Do you know anyone in this area who knows how to make it?
If anyone would know about that, it's Professor Simon's cook. I think he's from China, somewhere around there. But today is his day off, so I doubt you'll find him around. Well, then there's Archibald, but if I were you, I wouldn't want to meet him.
Archibald? Who's that?
Some say he's either Bigfoot, a serial killer, a 200-pound gremlin, or a war criminal. People say the darndest things. Satch, the pizza guy from Sicily, says he saw him a short while back. He was coming to deliver some pizzas to me when he heard a noise in the back of his pickup. When he got out, he saw a running shadow and chased it until he lost sight of it. When he returned to the pickup, they'd stolen the pizzas and opened up the engine. He couldn't get the pickup started, so he had to leave it around here somewhere. He's sure it was Archibald, but actually it could have been anybody.
Do you know what Archibald looks like?
The last thing I heard is he's 6'7", has a flat head, green skin, and a body full of scars.
Do you have any idea how I can find him?
No, pal. You don't find Archibald. He finds you. You may be asking yourself, why is Ben saying that? Well, because that's what happened to me. Not once, but twice.
So, you say you've seen Archibald?
No, amigo. I didn't tell you I had seen him, but that I'd been with him. As for seeing him the way I see you now, never.
What happened the first time you met Archibald?
The first time? Oh yeah, it was Christmas Eve. I picked up my guitar, went out on the balcony, sipped down a mug of beer, and started singing A Christmas Carol. I hadn't finished the first bar when I felt a sharp object in my back, as a whispering voice told me,
John Lennon sang Christmas carols much better than you, and look where he ended up. Your end may be much more cruel and imaginative.
I stopped playing and asked, You're Archibald, aren't you? But there was nobody there.
What happened the second time he found you?
I was sitting here having a beer when I recognized his voice.
I'm going to give you some emergency anesthesia. If you move, I'll leave you dumber than you are now.
I felt something hit my head, and I fell to the floor. When I woke up, I saw I'd been blindfolded. Well, actually, I didn't see it, but you get my drift. I said, Where am I? Who are you? What do you want from me? I thought my kidnapper was a competing bear scientist, so I yelled, You'll never get me to tell you my theory, no matter how hard you torture me. But that wasn't the deal. He said his name was Archibald, and that he was a chef. He just invented a tarantula venom salsa, and he wanted to experiment with me to see if the venom was still poisonous after being boiled. Thank goodness it wasn't, but it was quite a laxative.
You have no clue about where his house is?
Well, no. I've scoured the area many times, but I can't ever seem to find it. I'm starting to suspect he lives in a hole, like a bunny rabbit.
Well, let's stop talking about Archibald for now.
As you wish, but don't ever call him Archie. He gets mad with rage.
Forget it. Get back to your work.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take a look over there. Wow, I've never seen a completely frozen river before. I'll try not to walk across it just in case the ice breaks. That must be the cabin that Wazowski was talking about. I'll go take a look. It leads up to Wazowski's cabin. It looks like Wazowski cuts his timber the old-fashioned way. I'll just take a quick glance inside. It'd be better to leave the trapdoor open. Well, so this is what Wazowski's hidden den is like. Let's see what we can find around here. I thought Wazowski was pulling my leg about that hockey thing, but I guess it's true. Sure, I bet I can use it somewhere. It's as good as new. I'll try not to wreck it. That must be quite useful if you live in the woods. I don't know. It might be a little heavy. And I'm starting to get tired of hauling junk all over the place. Though, on the other hand, this is one of those pieces of junk that could save my day at some point. Anyway, by lifting a bunch of junk like this, I won't need to join a gym. Wow, man, as far as I can see, the fuel gauge is at 0. Well, I'll grab the thing, after all that effort to get it into my pocket. If I keep staring, I'll get a contagious yawn. A guitar! Too bad I have no idea how to play. Man, that's a great idea. If I play the right song, maybe I can get that Archibald guy to show up. The only holdup is that I have no idea how to play, but hey, it can't hurt to try. I'll step outside so I can be heard better. The light from this lamp will come in handy. Here we go.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun is it to ride on a one-horse open sleigh? Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun is it to ride on a one-horse open sleigh?
Darn. Wait for me to...
That's too bad. His nose didn't even bleed.
Can you tell me why you just tried to do me bodily harm? Forget it. I don't feel like arguing. You must be Archibald from what I've heard.
Well, you must be a moron. And from what I've heard, a worse guitar player than your father.
So, how is it you met my father?
From hearing him play on that very balcony there. Or isn't your pop that bird brain with the bears?
No, I believe you're mistaken. Wazowski's not my dad.
I'd swear you guys were family. I find it hard to believe backward evolution is widespread among humans.
Hey, he doesn't look like...
The same ape-like expression on your face, the same lack of musical knowledge, and bad taste from the look of your clothing. No, there are just too many coincidences.
Listen, Archibald, I'm warning you that...
All right then, let's look at it from a more entertaining perspective. I know a game called Give Me One Reason Why You Shouldn't Die at this very moment. You'd like it. The end's supposed to be a killer.
You have to help me. My friend got sick from some wild berries, and you're the only one who can whip up the antidote.
You got the wrong idea about me, mister. Even though I'm smarter than most of them, I'm not a doctor.
I've heard you're a whiz in the kitchen.
Mister, I am much, much more than that.
Where'd you learn to cook?
By cooking. How else do you think people learn? But of course, I studied at the finest schools in Paris with the greatest chefs. All I can say is, though, they learn more from me than me from them.
You must have worked in the finest restaurants, I'm sure.
Yes, all the ones they won't let the likes of you into. But I grew tired of half-baked cooks stealing my recipes and using them to get the best reviews in the Guide Michelin.
The truth is, looking at you here, it's hard to picture you in a white apron and a chef's hat.
Hey kid, I can easily picture you in a shroud lying in your coffin.
Anyway, getting back to what I was saying,
Good lord, what an annoying person. If I'd known, I would have acted like a sane individual and made you swallow that bleach.
I need you to tell me how to make sushi.
I don't have to explain anything to you. Did you explain to me about the expired syrup they gave you when you were born?
Do you know Professor Simon?
The best thing I can say about him is I hardly know him. He doesn't bother me with nonsense, and he doesn't make a bunch of noise with a guitar. The guy is nice and quiet in his mansion, doesn't bug anyone or show his face. Now that I think about it, I kinda like him.
I have money. If you help me out, I'll pay whatever you want.
Well, obviously there had to be something good about you. But I'm warning you, I don't come cheap. And I don't work for scraps.
Are you sure you can't teach me to make sushi?
I've mastered the art of cuisine, but I hate the world of education. You want to learn a trade, commit a crime, and sign up for a vocational course in prison. When they let you out, you'll know something useful other than fishing soap chips out of urinals, and you'll no longer be a parasite to society.
You charge that much for your services?
Price is a relative concept, kid. It depends who asks me, what they want, when they need it, and more than anything, what side of the bed I woke up on.
Are you familiar with making salmon sushi?
Does the Pope pray? Kid, you stand before the former chef of Japan's Imperial Palace, the man who introduced the West to sushi, tempura, and sake. And if that's the dish you want, it won't cost you a cent.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah, because I can refuse to make it for you. I only work my cooking magic when I'm given each and every one of the proper ingredients, and I'm missing some essentials for sushi.
What ingredients go in sushi?
I don't see why I should tell you, but okay. It contains rice, nori algae, soy sauce, wasabi, ginger, a touch of sugar, a dash of salt, and in this case, salmon.
Which ingredients are you missing?
The salmon to start with, the nori, the wasabi. No, I guess I could achieve a similar effect if I mixed Dijon mustard with apple vinegar and some mint toothpaste. I think I have some soy sauce and ginger around here, so that would be it. Well, I don't have any chopsticks either, or a bamboo mat for rolling up the maki sushi.
I'm not 100% sure of all the ingredients that you're missing, but I could try to find them somewhere around here.
You don't know what the salmon, nori, chopsticks, and bamboo mat look like? Your lack of culinary culture is at par with your IQ. Look around if you want, but I doubt you'll find them all.
Getting back to what you were saying,
You really like to analyze things in depth.
if we were to get all the ingredients, how much would you charge me to make one dish of sushi?
That depends, kid. How much have you got?
I think I've got about $1,000. Is 50 okay?
No, 1,000 will do for me. It's a done deal, kid. You get the salmon, the mat for rolling up the sushi, the chopsticks, and the algae. And I'll take care of the rest.
Are you ready? My questions are somewhat personal.
Well, in that case, we could start playing our old game again. But backward. Every time you open your mouth, you give me another reason to feel sorry for your pathetic self and put an end to your sorry, meaningless existence. Considering the vegetative state of your brain, it would be a true act of euthanasia.
Are you barefoot because you don't own any shoes? Or did you make some sort of vow?
Is that what you think? Well then, let's just say I made a promise never to reveal why I go barefoot. Go figure that one out, kid.
It looks like your shower isn't working right. Or your washing machine, for that matter.
You're calling me a pig, aren't you? Well, get over it. I smell like myself, like a human being. In other words, what I'm supposed to smell like. If I'm not mistaken, you smell like body milk, shaving mousse, aloe vera gel, conditioner, artificial aromas B303, F507, and H452, along with any perfume made from camel sweat that happens to be in fashion. Conclusion, the only dirty pig here is you, and you spent a fortune to get that way on top of it.
Wazowski says you hit him, blindfolded him, and gave him tarantula venom.
Wazowski is an imbecile. He was so drunk he fell down the stairs in his own house, so I threw him over my shoulder and dragged him back up. I put a wet rag on his forehead and eyes to lower his fever, but the guy started to get delirious and spewed a bunch of nonsense about his theory on bears. Then I made him a nice broth out of Terra Brachula, a harmless brachiopod, and left him sleeping. The rest is a product of his moronic imagination.
Do you know Wazowski's theory about why bears scratch themselves?
I'm not just familiar with it. The theory is actually mine. I'm the one who discovered that female bears in heat scratch birch trees to get the sap out. It's as sweet as honey and can be used to make syrup. I noticed that right afterward, they rub their back against the tree to get all covered in it. Then a bear comes along, smells her back, gets on top of her to enjoy the delicacy, and well, nature takes care of the rest. But I don't care about Wazowski stealing the theory from me. I'm used to that kind of thing. Plus, the poor devil has to get some kind of enjoyment.
I think we should talk about more important things, Archibald.
I shudder to think what type of things are important to you.
Thanks, Archibald. I'll be seeing you.
That's a true threat coming from you.
But how will I find you?
Just whistle, if you know how. But
Thanks.
you'd better not bother me without a good reason.
This feels like one of those old movies. If I whistle, he'll come running. What a nut! I'm not sure what it is, but it has East Asian characters on it. Bright idea! I could use it as a mat to roll up the sushi. It'll be easier to carry if I roll it up. Those look like perfume bottles.
Newborn bear essence, pheromones of she-bear in heat, Republican bear extract.
Now that's perfume, and anything else is worthless. Now, don't take this the wrong way, but I bet some she-bear in heat pheromones could come in handy. I'll have to make sure not to spill a single solitary drop. Smelling like that goop with wild bears roaming around is the last thing I need. Okay, let's go on out. That's the bottle that zany chef tossed at me. Multi-purpose bleach. Yeah, I think I've earned it. It isn't full, but there's quite a bit left. Luckily, it's closed tight and didn't break when that nutcase threw it at me. It's a clear plastic tube. This kind of thing always seems to prove handy. I'll take it. In the end, it's the simple things in life that turn out to be the most useful. It's not the most ideal tool, but if I cut it in just the right spot, maybe I could carve something resembling chopsticks. Well, it can't hurt to try. Oh, look at that! I did a pretty good job. It belongs to Wazowski. No, Wazowski could blow a gasket. Its leaves are long and dark. I'll take it to my pal Rutger. He'll think it's way cool. I don't think I'll find anything more similar to algae around here. According to the label, it runs on a mixture of gas and oil. It's in pretty good shape for being abandoned outdoors, especially if you consider it has more dents than a junkyard special and a few wheels less than required by law. This is gonna leave a gross aftertaste, but oh well. Yuck! Talk about needing a mint. It isn't full, but that should do. I'll just approximate the amount of oil. Maybe it's my lucky day. Well, now my little mixture is all ready. Well, let's hope I made the mixture with the right proportions. Yes! It works! But I better turn it off for the time being. It's hard to fathom how a whole river could turn into ice. Great idea! I'll make a hole in the ice. Let's get to work. Perfect. Euclid couldn't have drawn a better circle. Dude! Whew! I thought he was coming after me. Looks like he just wanted to use the hole to fish in, though. I'll have to come up with a way to shoo him off. The mascot of a pizzeria. How appropriate for this region. Hey, that might be a good idea. I know a guy who could be interested in that head. It's not exactly a bear head, but anyway. Now that I think of it, if I took off the antlers, it would look pretty much the same, wouldn't it? Okay, let's flex that muscle. Much better, yeah. Okay, let's check out the results. It's a little stinky, but now it looks a lot more like the head of a polar bear. Yeah, great idea. The knife's not very sharp, but I could use it to cut a lengthwise strip which could then be lifted like a visor. That way, whoever puts the head on can see where they're walking. Done. Hope it works.